He's in the Zephyr Hills Chamber. I was not there during my vacation. They thought he was dead.
Good morning. I would like to call to order the Pasco County Commission 10 o'clock meeting of July 14th, 2026. At this time, please silence all electronic devices. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Good morning, Honorable Commission. Pasco County Fire Chaplain Anthony Shipe here to give the invocation. Let us pray. Sovereign God, we thank you for this opportunity to conduct our civil business here in Pasco County. Thank you for our nation's birthday of 250 years, granting us blessing to raise our families, keep us safe in these coming years. We ask that you'll bless our fire, police, and doctors and nurses of this community, also the Pasco County Commission and their families, as well as community workers and government officials. Thank you so much for our blessings. In your sovereign name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Here?
District 2, Commissioner Waitman.
Present.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey. District 4, Commissioner Yeager. Here. District 5, Chairman Mariano.
Here. Now is the time for public comment. Citizens are given an opportunity to comment on any current or future agenda item coming before the board and on other business under the board's purview. Today's public comment will be handled as follows. First, we will take public comment for those who are here in person. Then we'll take public comment for those who are pre-registered for an online link and currently on queue. We request that when you address the board, comments are not directed personally against a commissioner or team member, but rather directed at the issues. This provides mutual respect between the board members and the public. After stating your name and address for the clerk, a 3-minute timer will be activated. A green light will be shown on the podium. After 2 minutes, a yellow light will indicate you have 1 minute left. When your time is up, a red light will be displayed. 3 beeps will sound. You should close your comments. Those online will be disconnected automatically when the timer is up. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
Yes, sir, we do. Monica Sepp is the first individual. You can come to the podium and your name and your address. And you have 3 minutes.
My name is Monica Sepp. I'm 13117 Lauderdale Street in Hudson. And then I have a concern, just a couple concerns of some things going on in our area. Back in May, I had watched the commissioners' meeting, and there was some concerns brought up about people who have been displaced and were living in campers on the canals. And there was brought up about permits or a sticker or something being put on the campers to know that those people have been displaced. And I do know that Code was over there and they did clean up a lot of the campers. However, most of those campers now have come to the east side of 19 into our area. We have a lot of campers that have been moved into the area. Most people who use their campers for technically camping do not have them leveled, do not have the slide outs out, do not have electric to them. Most of them are ready to be hooked up to a vehicle and pulled out. We have at least probably a dozen campers over there that are leveled, blocked up, slide outs out, lights on at night, people's living in them. And we are not a permitted campground over there. And I know that in May it was addressed as where are those people dumping their tanks? Could be in the canal water, most likely over there. It's just into the ground. And that's something that, Code needs to really address in our area back there. They also, I know Code works on complaints, and that's fine. But when you are there for one complaint and you see another 5 violations and you do nothing about it, you ride by with blinders on, and Code is paid by the county to enforce the ordinances set forth by you guys, and they don't do it. We also have people in our area back there, it's called Terrace Gardens, that have purchased empty lots. I've got boat trailers, boats, RVs, campers parked on empty lots without a homestead. That's against a violation of the ordinance. Am I not correct? I think so. I thought it was one of the ones that I looked up. There's no home. You can't use that for just storage without a home. And if they are as a home, they have to be behind your home, not out in front. There's also carports being put up on empty lots so they can store their RVs and campers underneath of it out of the sun. Most likely, they were probably not permitted because they don't have a home, so they did it in violation. And again, code comes by, they work on complaints, which is absolutely fine. But if you're being paid to enforce the ordinance, you should address those ones that that code officer visually sees as well. I mean, that's just, it's one of my concerns that I had. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had, is just the campers living over there, people living in the campers. They're set up, they're not just being used for camping. They're set up, they're leveled, they're camp, everything. And then again, the empty lots we have.
Okay. And before you go, David Allen, would you speak with David and have a conversation? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for making the drive.
Okay, the next two signed up are Jose Garcia and Sharon Painter from Rebuilding Florida.
And did you want to bring that,
So a few years ago,
your poster board? About this?
oh, okay.
So the board can see it.
Jose, name and address for the record first.
Sure. My name is Jose Garcia. I'm the CEO of Rebuilding Together Greater Florida, 3609 7th Avenue East, Tampa 33605. Commissioners, Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. Rebuilding Together provide residential repairs and rehab services to low-income homeowners. We've been doing this for the last 25 years, and we have 7 offices throughout the state of Florida. We serve approximately 500 homeowners in need to live in a safer and healthier home. One of the fundings that we are starting to work with is residential home resiliency and disaster recovery. We had the opportunity to work with Chairman Mariano to help one of your homeowners in the county of Pasco, which is Fred. He's 100 years, 102, 101?
101, yeah.
101-year-old veterans, World War II. He was one of the many heroes, the disembarking Normandy back in the Second World War, and since then he's been just living the life, I guess, and as you can see, unfortunately, his house was damaged by Helene and Milton, as many of the homeowners that we have to help as a result of the disaster, and we were able to make sure that now he can walk freely, independently throughout his house. We replaced the entire flooring, his kitchen, and make sure that his bathroom now has a shower and not a tub, which will make it easier for him. We want to thank Chairman Mariano for his help, his support, and making sure that we do our work and that we serve Fred, as well as this is an invitation to help as many Pasco residents as possible in the next time that we have the money available, I guess, until we run out of money. But hopefully we won't get any more storms that give us time to make sure that these houses are resilient and they're ready for a potential storm in the future. We are here to serve the residents. We're ready to help the residents. And if you need any help from us, please don't hesitate to contact us. Again, thank you very much.
And Jose, thank you for taking care of our veteran. Literally, they came to us at the board here probably 3 or 4 months ago, said we're looking to help people out in Pasco County. And I had mentioned to you I had a resident right in mind, and we met the next day. The next week, you guys were out there, put the whole thing together. And the great thing about this program, it's about a $25,000 bill for this whole thing, and it's done without any tie-ins where you don't have to have FEMA flood insurance later on. There's no government involved, any conditions to it. They just come in, and it's funded through some great people like the Red Cross that put the money into it to help people just get back that didn't quite make it back all the way. So thanks for the great work you did. It was awesome, and we look to help more people in Pasco County. Appreciate you coming out.
Thank you. Just to make sure I clarify also, we did everything by the book. Permits were pulled, and inspections were passed, okay? And if there are any construction individuals or companies here, feel free to contact us. We always have work available for you guys. Thank you.
And I will say, they did it in less than 30 days
Oh, that's
from the get-go.
Yeah.
Just amazing. The one time, yeah. one time I was getting ice cream down the street at Hudson, drove down just to see how things were looking because she hadn't seen it, and we get in there at 9:15 at night, they're still working on a Sunday night. They were dedicated to get it done for that Thursday, so they did a great job. It'll help anybody east or west side with on Easter eggs, so great program.
All right, and then the last person signed up is Robert Jacob. Mr. Jacob, name and address for the record once you get to the mic.
Yes, my name is Robert Jacob, 26125 Gypsy Rose Lane, 33544. That's in the Quail Hollow subdivision. And I want to say that we have been experiencing, those of us that have been out there as long as we have, a detrimental assault on our lifestyles. And with the unbridled amount of growth that's been happening out there, it has definitely impacted those of us that wanted to move out into the country. Now, with regards to this particular facility that you people are considering approving, there are a lot of concerns, and they come from all of the data centers that have been being put up around the country, namely the amount of water they use, the amount of electricity they use, and the light pollution, as well as the noise pollution. When I first got out on my property, I could see the Milky Way the way I did when I was a kid camping around natural Florida. I can't see that anymore just because of the light pollution from all the construction that's happened. Now, with regards to the technology that is being implemented, it's already obsolete before it's even been put in. China has already tried a lot of this stuff and failed, and some of the stuff that I see coming out in the next year to 3 years is going to make it so that you'll need 1/1000th of the footprint that these facilities utilize. On the water end of things, they figured out how to fix this stuff thousands of years ago with something called an earth tube. And in Florida, we can't use that. We have to use a different version of it. It's a poor man's geothermal, where you dig a trench that's 8 feet deep in the ground, and you put concentric coils of something like PEX tubing and run something like glycol, like you do in a radiator, through there, and you can keep the building at a constant temperature with just a mere pump and a radiator system. It's very inexpensive. On the electrical side of things, you could put in something like a full-blown geothermal, and you could have your own power plant there and not have to have all of the generators or disrupt people's homes by bringing in all the electrical things that the facilities necessary to bring in the power consumption that this thing is going to use. And the sheer footprint is unbelievable, and it also addresses not only the water consumption and the lifestyles of the people that are out there, but also Mother Nature. Mother Nature is going to suffer because here we are paving over our best farmland, and we're replacing the respiration for the cycle of the rainy cycle with hot roofs and pavement. And not everything boils down to money. And I'd like you all to consider that. Thank you.
There was no one else signed up?
Anyone else like to address the board in public comment? Come forward. Is there anyone else after this gentleman here? All right, so this will be the last gentleman for public comment in person. Name and address for the record, sir?
My name is Ted Waller. I live at 38148 Michler Road in the Lacucci area of Dade City. Good morning, everybody. I'm reading off of the script, so I apologize for not making eye contact. My name is Ted Waller, and I've been the privilege of serving as the president of Dade City Main Street. I want to take a few minutes to introduce myself and our organization. Dade City Main Street was recently reorganized and designated as an official Florida Main Street community. Our mission is to preserve and celebrate the unique historic character of downtown Dade City while supporting local businesses, encouraging economic investment, and creating a vibrant downtown that serves residents and visitors alike. Although we're relatively a new organization, we've already begun building strong partnerships with the city the Community Redevelopment Agency, downtown merchants, volunteers, and community organizations. Together, we're working to create meaningful events, support our small businesses, preserve our historic assets, and strengthen one of Pasco County's most recognizable downtowns. I wanted to introduce myself because I hope Dade City Main Street can become a valued partner with Pasco County as we continue this work. We appreciate everything the board does to support our community, and I look forward to building relationships with each of you in the months ahead. Commissioner Oakley, if I may, I also wanted to personally thank you for your longstanding support of Dade City. Dade City Main Street recently submitted an application to the Florida Division of Historical Resources for a small matching grant to complete a comprehensive historic resource survey of our downtown. We'd be honored to have your support through a letter of endorsement for our application. I've prepared a draft letter and it's been sent to your office. Hopefully you'll have a chance.
Thank you.
to look at it. Thank you all for your time, your service to Pasco County, and your continued support of our historic downtown. I look forward to working with every one of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone online?
No, sir.
Okay. That shall end public comment. And now we're going to go to resolutions. Just with the sheer number of people are here for RS3, we're going to go and have Jesse Bednarik for his 20 years of service. Jesse, you come forward.
So this is resolution number 26278, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, commending Jesse Bednarik for his 20 years of dedicated service to Pasco County and congratulating him on his retirement. Whereas Jesse Bednarik began his 20-year career with Pasco County on June 26, 2006, with the Facilities Management Department as a plumber too, and is concluding his career as the Operations and Maintenance Manager in August. And whereas using his proficiency in different trades, leadership, and ability to connect with customers and coworkers, Jesse worked diligently on the county's buildings and structures to ensure all Pasco County team members were able to work in a safe and healthy environment. And whereas Jesse has obtained numerous awards throughout his career, including 4 Constellation Awards, 2 Star Performer Awards, 2 Point of Light Awards, the 2018 Public Service Exemplar Award from the American Society for Public Administration, the 2020 Internal Services Leader of the Year Award, and the 2024 Star Team of the Year Award. And whereas Jesse has received accolades from across the county, including a Certificate of Appreciation from Fire Rescue for unwavering dedication and commitment, a Certificate of Appreciation from the County Administrator and Assistant County Administrators, and multiple letters of appreciation from constitutional officers. And whereas Jesse has shown great dedication to Pasco County's core value of innovation by implementing Icon water conservation devices at the jail in 2012, and was able to secure a grant that paid for the installation of these Icon devices. The Icon saves the county about $135,000 annually. And whereas on August 3rd, 2026, Jesse will officially retire from the Pasco County Facilities Management Department and will be greatly missed. A greatly missed dedicated team member who takes pride in his work, exemplifies professionalism, and is a great friend to those he works with. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby commends Jesse Bednarik for his 20 years of dedicated service to Pasco County, congratulates him on his retirement, and wishes him the best in his future endeavors. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 14th day of July 2026.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oh, you can smile now, good. That was a celebration we're doing here today with all the great friends you have in the audience. Jesse, what a great career you've had, your great service, and taking those extra steps, which go far beyond, probably led to all those awards and letters and saving us 135 grand a year. Thank you for your great service.
Thank you.
Tell us about what you got planned for the future.
Well, this is kind of overwhelming. I probably, talking with my wife, we're just going to decompress for a little while. We have, so many things that we'd like to do. I love the county. I appreciate the fact that I got to work here for 20 years. I have a script, and I'm not going to go into that, but I worked for 25 years on my own before coming to the county, left New York, came down here, and my father-in-law, late father-in-law, bet my wife that I wouldn't last 2 weeks working for somebody. So that's a bet that I'm glad he lost. My thought is, running out of time. So I've got to spend some time with my wife, my family, and I'm going to miss coming to work every day. I'm going to miss the people that I've made good friends with. I've got a lot of support from co-workers, teammates, from my superior, my bosses over the years have been great. So I'm leaving on a happy note, and I'm sad in one respect as well.
I'm sure you're happy. I know Madam Clerk wanted to say a couple words, so.
I did. I was honored that I got to read your resolution today.
Thank you.
When I was an assistant county administrator, I wanted to see what the day in the life of facilities was like, and so Jesse gave me by far the best tour. He took me inside the walls of the jail, and who knew plumbing could be so exciting? But Jesse deserves all the awards and accolades he's gotten over the years. He's a kind man and a true public servant, and you will be missed.
Thank you so much.
And I know you're going to enjoy your family. That is most important. So you've earned the time to go do it, so I want you to enjoy it. Everybody who's all of the friends of Jesse, please come on up as well. We'll line you all up in here, and then we'll stand down.
Going down?
Be crowded no matter what, so.
Stay up here? Wait, which one did it say? What did he say?
He's got
All right, I think there's enough here. Wow.
You guys got the we're white and
I know.
you guys you missed the day that Eric and I dressed exactly. That was last board meeting. I want to sometimes it's like, holy cow.
Hey, what's it?
Just to the American over. I don't disagree with that.
Making me look taller.
Oh, is it?
A disaster.
Which is quick.
Yeah. Well, that should take care of the occupancy violations I was concerned about. All right, go to RS1.
All right, RS1 is for pre-trial probation and parole supervision week in Pasco County. So if you will come to the podium, if you are here for this resolution. Okay, so this is resolution number 26276. A resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring the week of July 19th through 25th, 2026 as pretrial, probation, and parole supervision week in Pasco County. Whereas misdemeanor probation serves as a component of the criminal justice system by supporting court-ordered supervision and promoting accountability, while also providing individuals with a structured opportunity to rebuild their lives through meaningful engagement and guidance. And whereas misdemeanor probation has established and embraced a culture of hope, having one person engaged, recognizing that a single committed connection can inspire trust, accountability, and lasting positive change. A model reinforced through the supervision of 1,528 defendants in 2025. And whereas misdemeanor probation professionals bring the culture of hope to life through individualized support and consistent engagement, resulting in effective supervision outcomes and demonstrated by the collection of $170,954.88 in restitution in 2025, directly aiding victims and reinforcing offender accountability. And whereas over the 5-year period from 2021 to 2025, misdemeanor probation supervised 7,752 defendants, reflecting the scope and sustained capacity of the program to meet the needs of the courts and the community. And whereas only 2.41% of those supervised during that 5-year period, 187 individuals, returned for a subsequent misdemeanor probation term, a strong indicator of successful supervision. And whereas these professionals collaborate with law enforcement, courts, and community partners to ensure individuals meet their obligations while maintaining connections to employment, treatment, and supportive services. And whereas misdemeanor probation staff uphold high ethical standards and reinforce community safety by ensuring compliance with court orders, providing case management, and promoting prevention. And whereas their engagement-driven approach strengthens lives, promotes rehabilitation, and contributes to a more just and supportive community. And whereas pre-trial, probation, and parole supervision week presents an opportunity to recognize and appreciate the contribution of Pasco County's misdemeanor probation professionals whose commitment makes a difference in the lives of those placed on probation. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby proclaims the week of July 19th through 25th, 2026 as pretrial, probation, and parole week in Pasco County, and recognizes the dedication and impact of misdemeanor probation professionals and their commitment to a culture of hope. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 14th day of July 2026.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Commissioner
Good
Waitman.
morning, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Commissioner Waitman, please.
Welcome. So tell us if your job's gotten any easier or not over the last year.
So good morning, Commissioners. Paula Baracal, the Director of Support Services. This morning I have the unique pleasure of introducing this amazing group of professionals, including Tracy Toner, who's a standard of professionalism in this industry, in our community, over 30 years of service. And without them, our community wouldn't be as safe, and individuals in our community wouldn't have a second chance and better outcomes and a better life in Pasco County. So with that, I'd like to leave the floor now to Tracy.
Good morning, Commissioners. On behalf of the team that's standing behind me, I just want to thank you for recognizing pretrial probation and parole supervision week. The work this team does, helping individuals navigate the court-ordered requirements, supporting them through their challenges, promoting accountability, it requires heart, it requires patience, and it requires hope. In our division, like the resolution had indicated, having that one person engaged, it defines the culture that we strive to uphold. It reflects our belief that every individual that we supervise should feel that we are fully engaged and invested in their success. And I'm very proud of the positive impact that this team makes each and every day. From the $170,000 in restitution collected to the very low repeat offender percentage, it's all a reflection of the passion and the commitment of the team. And again, I just want to thank you for your support and for this resolution.
Okay.
Kathy Pearson, Assistant County Administrator of Public Services. These are awesome individuals. They care for every person that comes in that door. They have become case managers. They're not probation officers. They're case managers. And they truly do make a difference in these folks' lives. And I just want to personally thank them because it's not an easy job. They never know who's going to come into their office. They don't know what kind of state those folks are going to be in. And they handle it with professional and charm. And I just want to say thank you.
Okay. Good. Put up a picture? Very good. Yeah. Yeah, we'll stay up here. Okay. You want to come all up in here and line up?
I think most people don't even realize this is part of the county, one of the county functions. Right?
Yeah, right in front of me. Good.
Wait for the clips.
Okay, RS2.
Yeah, RS2, yes. All right, so if you are here for Parks and Recreation Month, if you will please come to the podium. All right, so this is resolution, oh, I'll give you guys a minute. You got a crowd with you, Keith. Yes, you did. All right. This is resolution number 26277, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring the month of July 2026 as Park and Recreation Month in Pasco County. Whereas Pasco County's Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Departments, programs, and facilities are essential services that enhance our quality of life by providing a balance of athletic, social, cultural, and recreational opportunities, building self-esteem, teaching life skills, encouraging environmental awareness, and providing public spaces for every citizen to enjoy. And whereas Pasco County celebrates the power of connection, recognizing that parks and recreation are where relationships grow, cultures meet, and communities bond through programs such as volunteer cleanup days and other community building efforts. And whereas Pasco County embraces the power of play by offering playgrounds, youth sports leagues, and summer camps that inspire creativity, spark joy, and support lifelong learning for children and families. And whereas Pasco County demonstrates the power of community by providing recreation centers and public gathering spaces that allow residents to come together, celebrate, and support one another. And whereas Pasco County highlights the power of nature through its wilderness and coastal parks, conservation lands protected under the Environmental Land and Acquisition Management Program, and robust outdoor programs ensuring that all residents can experience the restorative and inspiring benefits of the natural environment. And whereas Pasco County upholds the power of belonging by offering inclusive and welcoming programs for residents of all ages, such as the Pasco Adaptive and Inclusive Recreation Program, inclusive summer camps for children, senior programs such as pickleball and bingo, and Recreate Your Mind mental health programming, ensuring that every individual feels valued and supported. And whereas Pasco County promotes the power of well-being through fitness programs, wellness challenges such as Auto Move and the Pasco County Hiking Challenge, as well as a wide range of recreational opportunities that advance health, resilience, and shared community benefits. And whereas the local and state parks maintained by the Pasco County Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Department are vital to the well-being and quality of life every citizen and visitor of Pasco County. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby declares July 2026 as Park and Recreation Month in Pasco County and celebrates the dedicated work of the Pasco County Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Department. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 14th day of July 2026.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Starkey.
Well, I'm really glad I'm sponsoring this one today. I don't think I got to do it last year. I think this one did it. I'm not sure. But this is mine. This is always mine. So as you notice, we're keeping our comments very short here. But I just want to say we all love our parks, and we're so grateful and proud of the work that you do. And we just know we have just awesome parks and more to come. So I'll turn it over to you.
Good morning, Keith Wiley, Director of Parks and Recreation, Natural Resources. Thank you for acknowledging the team, mostly the efforts that, right now, literally this is a small fraction of the team. They're out there preparing every day to make sure that, we maintain the level of service that our citizens come to expect. Whether it's a 250th celebration, whether it's a wedding proposal on Cruise Lake Tower, whether it's the, prepping the fields for that first T-ball hit, right, to maybe setting the nets for senior pickleball, to buying 2,000 acres at $60 million for conservation, to protecting a single wetland for an individual homeowner, or helping them relocate a gopher tortoise, to providing that first camper experience, all the way to the camper then transitioning to a counselor in training. I could stay up here for a long time. So the team is very special. And tournaments, yes, as Mr. Thomas references. But we don't do it without a dedicated, really very, very professional team that cares, coming to work every day, doing the very best they can. So thank you to the team. I know not everyone's here, but thank you to all of them that are out there in the field doing the hard work every day.
All right. I'll come down and we'll take photos.
Is that all right? Thank you. Details.
Keith's standing too tall. Shut up.
Good job. And now we'll go to RS4.
Okay, RS4. So if you're here from Florida
Adam?
Sports Coast, yep, Adam.
And the board members?
Okay, it is freezing in here, and I have a jacket on. Oh, okay.
All right. So this is resolution number 26279. A resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, recognizing Florida's Sports Coast for achieving the Destination Marketing Accreditation Program accreditation. Whereas Florida Sports Coast, Pasco County's destination management organization, is responsible for promoting Pasco County as a premier destination for sports, leisure, and group travel. And whereas the Pasco County Tourism fiscal year 24 through 28 strategic destination plan identifies achieving Destinations International Marketing Accreditation Program, DMAP, accreditation as a priority initiative in support of the strategic goal to attain optimal resources and performance results. And whereas Destinations International is the world's largest and most trusted resource for destination organizations, representing more than 10,000 members and partners from over 770 destinations worldwide. And whereas the DMAP is an independent, globally recognized accreditation body that defines excellence in destination management across a comprehensive set of standards. And whereas DMAP's nearly 100 accreditation standards cover a wide variety of topics, including governance, finance, management, human resources, technology, visitor services, group services, sales, communications, membership, brand management, destination development, research and market intelligence, innovation, and stakeholder relationships. And whereas achieving DMAP accreditation requires a destination organization to successfully comply with rigorous, mandatory, and voluntary standards that evaluate nearly every aspect of organizational performance, accountability, transparency, and industry best practices. And whereas on June 5th, 2026, Destinations International formally notified Florida Sports Coast that they had achieved DMAP accreditation. And recognized the organization as part of a distinguished group of accredited destination organizations worldwide. And whereas by earning this accreditation, Florida Sports Coast joins nearly 200 accredited destination organizations worldwide, including 23 in Florida, demonstrating Florida's Sports Coast leadership, credibility, and commitment to operational and strategic excellence within the tourism industry. And whereas this achievement strengthens Pasco County's position within the global travel and tourism community and affirms that Florida's Sports Coast meets the highest standards of destination management, benefiting residents, visitors, industry partners, and the broader community. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby commends the Florida Sports Coast team for achieving the Destination Marketing Accreditation Program accreditation and extends its appreciation for the organization's continued commitment to excellence, accountability, and the advancement of Pasco County's tourism industry. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 14th day of July, 2026.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Adam, quite an accomplishment. I know it takes the team to do it all, to put it together, but it takes the leadership from the top to make sure we want to see it happen. So for you, I know you've been smiling all morning long about this, I think for about 3 weeks now.
Yes.
But it's a great accomplishment. It shows government working the way it's supposed to work and the way you can hold your head high that you're running a great organization.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Chairman Mariano, for recognizing this and sponsoring this resolution. This is a monumental day for Pasco County and the Florida Sports Coast, but specifically for Pasco County, we've done some tremendous things during my tenure here. I mean, I'm looking at it, I'm coming up on 10 years next year, but we've rebranded, we've repositioned, we've won awards at the state level, at the national level, at the international level. We've built a world-class facility in Wiregrass Ranch Sports Campus, which is now managed by a premier operator that's bringing in events from all corners of the world. We have a marketing team that is very creative in positioning and telling the community story to the global marketplace. So we've done a lot of things leading up to this point here. But this moment is so monumental because it tells the whole industry of the tourism industry that we're doing things the right way in Pasco County. that we're governed by a board, by a TDC board that oversees all of our policies, all of our expenditures, all of our initiatives, all of our programming to make sure that we're good stewards of the tourist development tax and we're good stewards of this industry. I am very humbled to stand here and work side by side with this amazing marketing team with Florida Sports Coast. But more importantly, we get to present every single month to the Tourist Development Council that's here with us today. And we couldn't do it without their support, without Mike Carbarla's support, without Kathy Pearson's support. But there's a couple other departments that were left out that I really want to highlight, because this is, even though we champion this accreditation, we wouldn't have been standing here today if it wasn't for the many different departments: IT, OMB, fiscal, purchasing, HR, facilities, fleet, parks and rec, county attorney's office, the county administration's office, the clerk's office, the PIO office. Everyone had a hand in making this accreditation possible. So I can't thank them enough. I can't thank you enough for your support and the team behind me. We stand again with giants across this industry of Florida, and Pasco County is shining brightly. So with that, I'll turn it over to Kathy or Consuelo if you have anything else you want to add.
I like to put things in perspective. So I figure that it's important to mention that this is an international recognition. We have over 195 countries in the world. Just in the United States, we have over 3,100 counties, and yet we are one of the only 200 destinations globally that get this certification.
Wow.
So this is a tremendous undertaking from our team. Many hours, hundreds of hours, day to day for over probably 6 months. Meanwhile, we were traveling, promoting our destination, dealing with day-to-day operations and projects. So I'm very proud of our team, very proud of the support of everybody here. But most importantly, this certification is just not one paper. It's basically a validation that we're doing things the right way. So thank you for your support.
Kathy Pearson, Assistant County Administrator of Public Services. I am so proud of this team. I have watched Adam for a long time. I've watched Consuela. Kayla, oh my gosh, that girl has done the she has become known in the industry. I watched how shy they were when they first started. To see them grow and blossom into an amazing team I am probably the most proudest Assistant County Administrator today with all the teams I have. And I just got to say thank you to all of them. Thanks.
All right. And our newest board member, Roger's got a good thing to show you at the break here, so I'll take it down and show you something that's going to be really cool to elevate a little bit more for that international tourism, which you guys are doing such a great job with. So I'll come down and take a picture.
Hey, Adam, bend your knees. Well, look at the mayor here, deputy mayor. He's bigger.
My drink cups.
Yes. Yes, sir.
You drank them?
No.
Really, congratulations. Congratulations.
Don't get me killed in them.
Check out for you.
Like I'm sent to the right. And now it's time for the consent agenda. I have a few items to be pulled and withdrawn. Item C29, pull and discuss. Item C48, pull and discuss. C50, pull and discuss. C69, pull and revise. C27 has been withdrawn. and C72 withdrawn. Any other items to be drawn from the consent agenda?
Move approval of the
Second.
other items.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we'll start with Commissioner Starkey, C29.
It's a rare pull for me, but I wanted you all to see the significance of what we're doing here. Can you zoom out? So Blueberry Drive, so zoom out even just a little more. So to get your bearings, there's the new Veterans Center on Little Road. And to the left over here, you have, what do they call that now? Wendell Crinn, Marchman, and Pepin's over there. The arrow's on the Pepin. And to get into all these schools before, you had to go all the way around and come in off of Ridge or over there on Congress, right? And now we're going to connect these two roads here. It's one of a few connections we hope to make into this area. And people who are bringing their kids to Pepin, and they come from all over the county, in other counties, will just have to go up Little Road and come across here on Blueberry and turn left. I mean, it's such a great addition. And so we're buying a little piece of land there so we can connect Blueberry. And by the way, this is right near where the Habitat for Humanity community is coming in. So all those kids that are moving in there to get to school, they just have to turn left there on Blueberry. So I'm really excited about this purchase. I want to thank Christy Sims for working on this. I think it was Nikki. Nikki. It's a great addition, and it shows the importance of connectivity. So I don't know if you want to say anything. That's just all I wanted to say on that one.
You covered it.
Yeah.
No, it's a great addition, and I was the other day at Orchid Lake trying to get back over here, and I go up and around, whatever, and took an extra 10, 15 minutes from where it could have been straight across, so it's going to be a good addition for the network. So we'll take a
Okay.
motion?
Nope, that's it. Yeah.
No.
Move to approve? Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, C48. I just wanted to pull this just to say it's another great sidewalk project coming through for Ranch Road. I'm going to have pictures in the committee reports about Johnson Road and Rampart that just got done. Two of the probably worst roads in the county being done for the community, but all this improvements in here make a difference, and people just like Nancy Benitez, who's one of the directors out there for a safety group, and they're coming up to her and say, "Are you Nancy? Are you Nancy? Thank you, thank you." And she passes on thanks to the board as well, so it's a great partnership. But with that, I'd like to see a motion for someone to make.
Move approve. 48.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And C50, Commissioner Waitman.
Yeah, same highlight here, sidewalks for our safe routes to schools for Curly Road, tying to Wells, which will provide sidewalk gap funding for West Chapel Elementary, Waitman Middle, and West Chapel High School, and then tie into Boyette Road and all the way up to West Chapel District Park. This work couldn't be done without our support from Senator Burgess and Rep. Maggard at the state in helping us capture a matching appropriation for this work here. And it was this location is the second most dangerous route to school in the county. So within the last 3 years, really, we've been able to capture sidewalks for the most dangerous route to school, which was Pineview Middle area there, and get that fully funded with help from the Fed and the state and local matches here. And then the second right here at the West Chapel schools there on Wells Road. So great work, team effort. Thanks for the school board for supporting us through the legislative process, lobbying team that's here. I think y'all are here today, Foster, Moore, working with the team to get this done. So very proud to move approval on C50.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Keith Wiley, C69, pull and revise.
Yes, sir. We had to update the actual time of the public hearing in both the agenda memo and the resolution to 1:30 p.m.
No motion.
Move to approve?
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And that does it for the consent agenda. We'll go to regular, R75, Federal Action Plan and State Lobbyist Update. And I believe we got the full team together today.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ralph Lear, Intergovernmental Affairs Officer. Joining us today is Tracy Pugh with Ballard Partners, our federal lobbyist, to discuss our federal advocacy strategy going forward. On your desk, you'll have a copy of that, as well as their PowerPoint. So again, the strategy, plan, PowerPoint. Tracy?
Good morning. Thanks, Ralph. And it's a pleasure to be back here in this beautiful building. We were in the other building the last time, so just absolutely gorgeous. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I want to thank you for entrusting Ballard Partners with your federal priorities representation. As you all know, we are the leading bipartisan government and public affairs firm in the country. We're led by Brian Ballard, who has expanded the firm from its Florida roots to Washington and beyond. And our DC office, you can go to the introduction slide. Our DC office is managed by Dan McFall, and he works closely with me on, and the Pasco team. Thank you. Is the center one? Oh, there we go. Can it help? Okay. Dan, right in the center there, he works closely with me and the Pasco team on representing you all in Washington. And let me just add that it is a real pleasure to work with Mike and Ralph and the entire team for Pasco on your priorities. We prepared the federal strategy document that Ralph mentioned that's in your briefing packet, and you can review that in detail. But today, I want to highlight the key areas of our work together as we wrap up FY26 and begin preparing for the next fiscal year and the 120th Congress. I want to begin with appropriations. This is a graph of just sort of the timeline, and it's critically important that we talk about the timeline, and I know that we'll have a workshop going on in October, but there's some work that we should and can do before October. And let me just say that we're in the process right now of the appropriation season. The House has completed its work, and all 12 bills have been passed out of committee. The Senate has not heard all 12 bills in committee, and as you all know, with the unfortunate passing of Senator Graham and some other absences and illnesses, I'm not sure what that timeline may look like. So we could possibly find ourselves in a situation where on September 30th, which is the end of the federal fiscal year, we are in continuing resolution status. But that doesn't necessarily mean a government shutdown if they pass a continuing resolution. And I think because we are in an election year, no one on either side is interested in having a shutdown. So what that possibly could mean is that we'll have a lame duck Congress after the elections in November, and some form of a minibus or omnibus will be passed, at the end of the year. But fortunately for you all, you have Representative Bilirakis and Representative Lee, who've done really great by Pasco County in making sure that your federal priorities were included in their appropriations requests. So if you look on the bottom of page 1 of your strategy document, you'll see that over $9 million in federal funding has been submitted, and as I said, it has gone through the process, in the committee process in the House. And we will continue to track and monitor those projects through the process. We'll make sure our senators, Senator Scott and Senator Moody, their staffs are aware of them. We'll continue to track those as they, and monitor those as they go through the process. And as we prepare for the 120th Congress, I do want to emphasize that Pasco will have a third representative, and that benefits the county even more, because that means that you'll have 3 bites at this appropriations opportunity with Congressman Bilirakis, who has been a long-term representative of this area and very familiar with your priorities, Congresswoman Lee, and then Congresswoman Luna will represent a portion of the county as well when we go into the 120th Congress. So that's something that when we come back in October to start talking about the workshop, we will be in the interim meeting with their staffs, meeting with their teams. We don't have to wait until after November. We know they're gonna, be reelected, barring some major change. So we'll start building those relationships with Representative Luna's team now, and continue to socialize Pasco's priorities with her office. And we are doing that throughout the fall. And then when we come back in October, hopefully you all will have had an opportunity to meet with the team and decide what you want to present for your CPFs for the next year in the 120th Congress. I'm suggesting that we begin that process before the new Congress is sworn in, because as soon as the new Congress is sworn in, if you take a look at the chart, you'll see the president submits his budget. The new Congress is sworn in January. The president, if this timeline were to work, as it's laid out, the president submits his budget in February. In March, the House and Senate budget committees, they set the budget amounts, and then in April, the process begins for appropriations hearings. And what that essentially means is that members begin accepting requests. And so we want to have Pasco's request and all of our priorities ready to go for submission. The submission timelines vary depending on the member of Congress, but I would say anywhere between April, end of March to middle of May is when those submissions will be required to be submitted to the members of Congress. And in addition to the work that we do on appropriations, Ballard will continue to work with you all to engage federal agencies directly. We provide and flag grant opportunities that may be of interest to local governments. Sometimes those opportunities are a good fit for your team, and we've talked with Ralph about streamlining that process so that it better aligns with the priorities of the county. And now I want to talk a little bit about our timeline. We created a timeline just to sort of a work plan that would help us to guide our efforts. And as you'll see, it starts in July of this year, which is now. In August, the Congress takes a month-long recess. So during that time, we'll work with committee staff and continue to track and monitor the primary elections in the state of Florida on the 18th. Once those primaries are done, we can pretty much get to work in terms of working with the new congressional delegation. In September, that will be an extremely busy month. As I said, the fiscal year ends on September 30th, and it is very unlikely that the Congress will be completed with all 12 appropriations bills. But again, we'll continue to monitor that. The entire month of October this year, because it is an election year, Congress is not in session in October, which will give us a lot of time to come to plan, to identify the local priorities that you all have, and to work with Mike and the team on getting those submissions together. We'll begin to socialize those projects, meet with congressional staff, and then hopefully by December we can finalize the project so we'll be ready to go in the first quarter of 2027. In January, the new Congress, the 120th, will be sworn in. I believe it would be really good to have some of the members of the commission to come up for the swearing in. You'll have a new delegation, so I think it's really important that they know you, that you have an opportunity to meet some members of their team. And I know in February or early March is usually when Commissioner Starkey and Commissioner Mariano usually come up for NACO. We'll do meetings at that time. We'll meet with staff and appropriators. The one good thing about our state that we're very fortunate of is that even outside of the members that represent Pasco directly, we have quite a few members from Florida who serve on the Appropriations Committee and in the House, and that is very beneficial to our state. And so we'll make sure that this go around that we are not just meeting with the members who have submitted your project request, but some of our appropriators who are, we're fortunate that Floridians are very senior on appropriations. So there is a scenario where we could potentially have an appropriations chair in the next Congress or two that's from the state of Florida. So again, all good things for Florida. So after those submissions are due, like I said, it varies by deadline for the office from March through May. And then the process starts with appropriations hearings. We track the submissions. We make sure if the committee staff or the congressional staff have any questions or clarifications, budget information that they need from you all, that we're working with Mike and Ralph and the team to make sure that that information is provided so that we can benefit and maximize the appropriations opportunity. I do want to also mention that at least this past year, the amount of requests that members were able to submit from their district was 20. It moved from 15 to 20. So again, that is beneficial because now we have 3 members that have 20 slots, and I believe, and Ralph, I'm not mistaken, I believe
20
each.
Each. Wow.
20 each. So a total of 60, and I'm thinking that for each one of them, you know, you all should at least submit 5, but we can certainly talk about that as we go through your priorities. So that could be potentially 15 requests that that you all are submitting. And one other thing, I know that there's been a lot of talk about, and this is more so along the lines of the federal agency funding. Both tracks are important. The congressional appropriations process is an important funding source, as well as opportunities for the federal grants. Our senators, our 2 senators, they don't submit appropriations requests, but they're very supportive in the federal grant process. So we want to make sure that we take advantage of that. I know there's been some talk about changes to different rules and opportunities as it relates to federal grants. let me just say that those federal grant opportunities have not disappeared. The rules for winning those grants, some of those have evolved, and they'll likely continue to evolve as the administration priorities change or are redefined. We'll work with Pasco to stay engaged with the agencies to make sure that you all are familiar with those priorities from the Trump administration. We can work with your team to align the projects, but it doesn't mean that the money is not there. The money is there, and we certainly go after the money that makes sense for Pasco County. And lastly, I just want to point to, in your document, there's an appendix on page 9. It sort of lays out our strategy overview for the grant process. And I think we're going to be much more aggressive and rigorous in going after federal grant dollars as we move into this next fiscal year. There, like as I said, we had great meetings earlier this year with Commissioner Starkey, Mariano, and Mike and the team. We have developed relationships with several agencies, including HUD, Department of Labor, and several others. So we will be looking vigorously at opportunities for funding through those projects as well, and through those agencies. Mr. Chairman?
Okay. Any questions? Mr. Starkey?
Do you think it's Mario who's going to be? I was just looking him up because I know him a little bit. But he's vice chair now, so.
Well, like I said, we have very senior appropriators, and I would say on both sides of the aisle, there is a possibility that we could end up even with the chair and the ranking member, depending on who is in the majority, both being Floridians, because that's just how senior the Floridians are on appropriations.
Excellent. I was just talking with the county administrator this week about working on our trip up and some of the things that we want to accomplish. So I'm looking forward to us setting a date. When we go up with NACO, we like doing our rounds, but we know we need to go up more often.
Yes.
And at not necessarily, in addition to that time. Also, as I'm chair again of the federal committee at FAC, and I think we are also planning a FAC federal fly-in this year. Just to let you know that in my committee at NACO, Community Economic Development and Workforce, I'm sponsoring 2 resolutions, which we all approved of here. One is to work on the HUD, I might have talked to you about this last year, the HUD Section 8 vouchers. And the other one, it has to do with capital gains when you sell your house. The last time it was touched was in 1992, $250,000 for a single filer, $500,000 for a joint filer, and working to double that to $500,000 for a single filer and $1 million for joint filers. It will free up a lot of money for a lot of folks in the housing arena. The Council of Mayors has passed that, and I've got NAHB, National Home Builders Association, and the National Association of Realtors also getting on board. So I know we'll want to talk about that.
Absolutely.
And for sure, we want to talk about when we have folks that go into our jail and they lose their health insurance, and we have to pick up the tab. We must fix that.
That's
and
right.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
we're going to really make a big push on that.
So let me just make one suggestion, Commissioner, and I know how involved you are in your leadership in NACO, and coming up during NACO is a good time. But I will say that because there's so many other counties up during that time, it makes it a little bit more challenging for some of the meetings. I mean, we always have good meetings with our delegation, but with the agency meetings, I would say that if we can look at possibly doing some virtual meetings or having you all come up maybe a little bit later in the spring or early summer. That would be a really good time as well to get sort of more in the weeds on some of the regulatory and policy issues.
Okay. Yeah, so.
Are y'all going to tackle the procurement?
Is that a federal or?
Yeah, the Davis-Bacon, which eats away.
Oh, the Davis-Bacon.
Funding.
Yes. Well, I want to tackle that in my committee, but I think we have to do it outside of that committee. So that's one of the issues that we want to talk about when we're up there.
And we did have a conversation with Labor, Mr. Chairman, about that issue.
Yeah.
The last time you were here. It's a challenge, just to be real frank with you.
Even if we just change the floor from 3,000 to 500,000, it'll go a long way. But I kind of feel that with the administration we have now, now's the opportunity.
They were actually, I think, fairly receptive. They were going to do some research, so we need to follow back
That's
with
right.
them.
That's right. I believe
that
they
doesn't
feel
move
that
quick.
there needs to be some statutory changes, so that we'll take some congressional action as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I like your idea as far as this, on the swearing in, and I think the timing of it's good. It might be even just fly in for a day and fly back the same day, whatever it may be. But I think it's a really good idea. It's before the February, and if we can get some meetings in during that point for a quick fly up, fly back, it'll be quick and easy, and then we kind of like, better than February, because when February, they get so many people coming in and at them. They don't have the full attention. But this way here, it may be just, you know what? They were here to support me when we get elected, so I think that's some good merit. I'm going to be, at VACO, I'm going to get 2 resolutions. I'm helping with Jeff Brannick from Texas on the consortium. We're going to try to speed up the process. With part 1, it's like a 4-year deal. We're going to try to get it down to 2 years.
Nice.
That helps some money spend quicker. With the oversight that right now Treasury does, they want to kind of like unload that, and we got a resolution to actually take it away from the Treasury and just like put the trust on us like they do with CDBGDR regular money, that we do all the maintenance to make sure we're following the rules. We're trying to push that one through. That takes a burden off them and speeds up that process as well. I'm gonna need your help on with the Army Corps of Engineers, still with permitting stuff, but something that I just was alerted to this past week, the Steps to Recovery program that we spent $3 million of our opioid money, and Congressman Bilirakis did a phenomenal job getting $1.5 million. That building has got CO, ready to open. So I could take 32 veterans that are homeless right now and put them into these buildings.
Why no one's there?
Exactly. So what the problem is the feds have to do their inspection. They may not get it done until September. Well, hate to worry, but everyone see all the rain we had last night? Hurricane season's coming up. I could take 32 veterans out of the woods and put them in this building. I haven't even reached out to Bilirakis yet. I just found out about, I'm going to probably need your help like later today, tomorrow, and start pushing this thing forward, but I figured, well, I'll get you right here, right now. It should be a real easy thing to get them to go do the inspection. If not, wait on the inspection, but let them house the people right now that are homeless. I mean, they want us, all these programs we have for homeless, and I get a chance to do it, and the federal government's want to hold me down 60 more days.
That's a problem with the Section 8 vouchers as well.
So it's an easy, hopefully we can, like I say, work on this real quick. And I'm glad you covered the health benefit thing. And Four Rivers is like another project coming up that we could look at and get some help. We got some great success early, but I haven't seen the legs go on it, so that would be a great appropriation coming up. And as well, just got some permits for internal to Hudson, some canal restoration we're doing. So we've got our money, but we'd like to get some matching funds with that too, so we'll get with you on that. We just had this meeting just happened, like, I think it was Thursday, so good stuff coming up.
And I wanted to say, Representative Luna reached out to me, and we met 2 weeks ago, and you just reminded me that she's going to come up and tour, because my district now she's in holiday. So we're going to take her on a little tour of Amskills, Metropolitan Ministries, Hope, Pasco Hope, and I'd like to get her up to the Baycare Behavioral Health. It's not in her district, but she's very interested in all that kind of stuff.
I think that's excellent, just familiarizing her more with the new part of her district now is really good, so that we can when we get ready to submit our projects, she'll be familiar with what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tracy. I just also want to mention County Administration has met with Representative Luna's staff as well. Had a great meeting with them, so they're looking forward to helping out and representing Pasco County. I just wanted to close on the federal. I know Tracy has brought it up a couple of times. So going forward, we're going to have our federal legislative workshop on Tuesday, October 13th at the West Pasco Government Center in New Perici. This will be our time to finalize our federal legislative priorities, policy, and funding. I'll invite our federal legislative delegation members and their representatives to be a part of that workshop. It'll be our first one that we've done at the federal level. So going forward up until that point, I encourage you to get with staff on any funding initiatives that you all want to look at the federal level or any policy issues. The resolutions you mentioned, Commissioner Starkey, Commissioner Mariano, those will be part of our federal platform, as well as Davis-Bacon. There's several that we've been discussing throughout the years that will all be included in that. So now I want to take this opportunity to invite our state legislative lobby team to come forward and go over the recap of the 2026 legislative session. And fingers crossed we don't have any more special sessions before the election, but I'm not going to bet on that. So Sean Foster with Sunrise Consulting, Mike Moore with the Southern Group, and Sarah Susky with Advocacy Partners. Please go.
To start off the meeting a little fun, I looked over at Sarah and Mike. I said, I just got a text message. We've got another special session. Just a joke, just a joke. Thank you. I'm suffering from a little sinus and headaches, so I got a little raspy voice, but we're going to get through it. It was an interesting session. I think every time we come here, we say it was an interesting session, but I think we can all shake our heads. It was one of the most interesting sessions that we've had in a very long time. We're going to go through it kind of quickly because I know there's some issues that we're concerned about and want to talk about, and then we'll end up and wrap up a little bit about some of the stuff that passed in special session. We can go to the next page. Yep, just real quick, just overall, I want to give you an understanding of what happened before session, and then all the lobbyists will agree with me. It was really crazy. About 3 days before session started, they filed about 780 bills. So here we tried to work things through session. You try to go through committee weeks. You try to go through before you even get there. If you don't have a bill heard before session starts, as you know, you're already in trouble. So you can see we had a very low amount of bills that passed. Probably not a bad thing, right? But it was a lot of that. Just stuff was not going through committees. We would go to committees even in the first, second weeks of session. You'd have 3, 4 bills on there, and you could just see the purpose was really being slowed down the whole session. So very low amount. You see about everything that happened during special session, during redistricting. Essentially, the House came in and said, we're not going to hear your other two issues on health care and the other one? An AI bill. Thank you, that the governor said. He said, we're not going to hear it. We're going to agree with the map. He signed, he died, he went home. He left the Senate with it, and that's how that map got passed. So the speaker was pretty adamant about that. Special session E, of course, about the state budget, and of course the property taxes. And again, we will talk about that as we go through on the next two. I kind of like this next slide. It kind of just breaks down a little bit on some of the changes. I'm sorry, that you'll see the governor's proposal. The governor's proposal was actually $2 billion higher than last year's budget at 115. The Senate came in at 115, the House at 113. I always kind of like joke around, what's a couple $1 billion amongst friends? Well, it's a couple special sessions. That's what it ends up being. So I give you these two numbers because you hear two different numbers. The governor truly signed a $114.6 billion budget. That is the budget that passed through the House and the Senate. When you hear the higher number, the 117, those are considered back of the bill issues. Those are the items that they are bringing back up, that some can be spent in 2025-26 and then in 26-27. But the actual budget that passed afterwards was $114 billion. The 117 is everything that's added on top of that in the back of the bill. We've had stuff that you're not able to expend in that time span, and you asked the legislature to give you another year. This one here kind of gives a great explanation. I want you to kind of look at this one on the left first. Our general revenue, so when you talk about $117 or $114 billion budget, the $52 billion is truly that coming from the state. The other 60 billion plus is coming from the federal government as pass-throughs, that's coming through trust funds. But you can see that their general revenue has gone up by 50% from 2020 to 2021. That's a lot. And where that growth is happening, you can see over here, education is now the largest component with 38%. You can see where it was before, and of course, health and human services. We're kind of seeing our predictions from the Revenue Estimating Conference that the health and human services is going to go up. We have an older generation. We have more people dying in the state of Florida being born every day. We have more people dying in the state of Florida, so you can see the age is going up very much. So I think you'll see that one kind of trigger. That was part of the reasons why they wanted to limit a lot of cuts, because they said, listen, we're going to have a lot of needs coming ahead in the years ahead. The needs are going to be greater than the income coming in. And we'll talk about that. And I'm going to let Sarah take the next one.
All right. Well, I think Mike was going to take the first one, but wanted to. Yeah, that's quite all right. I'll let you go.
It's okay. We're all here to help, right? All right. Well, let's talk about funding for Pasco County. Obviously, we had a really, really great year, and so appreciative of our delegation. Our delegation worked very, very hard this year on these appropriations. So we'll start off with the East Pasco Emergency Shelter. So I had two legislators tell me that this was the hardest they ever worked on appropriations ever in their life. This started off at about a $100,000 placeholder. I got bounced around quite a bit. It got up in the House to just over about $1 million or so. And then thankfully, with the help of obviously our delegation and our Senate President, it got up to $5 million in the sprinkle. Throughout that process, I think this is important to talk about because there's a lot of people involved in this. This took a lot of work from a lot of people. So besides Representative Maggard and Senator Burgess sponsoring this, obviously the Senate President was very involved, the Speaker of the House was very involved, Chair Schoaf was very involved in this, as well as Chair DeSigley. And then it came down to the wire, where it almost didn't make it through, and thankfully for a lot of efforts, talking to the governor's office, talking to the governor himself and staff. Kevin Guthrie got involved as well. He had approved this, and he had actually had a meeting with the governor the Thursday before he actually signed the budget as well. It was very, very helpful. So we're very grateful that this got through. This has been the second year we've worked on it, and $5 million is a big deal, especially if you look at what got through in this budget for appropriations. That's the Sarah.
Awesome, and it's good to see everybody. And when we got here, the room was packed. I thought everybody was really excited to hear about our legislative updates and what happened during session this year, but it's thinned out a little bit, but everything is good. So the county has had, I think, a really good, thoughtful process for appropriations requests at the state level. And as you can see by what was funded and what you guys have applied for, you've had a real focus on things that the state likes to partner with local governments on. So public safety, emergency response, and so these all reflect that. The other two appropriations that were approved this year are the Rangeland Boulevard extension that is creating a new evacuation route for the residents of Pasco County, multimodal connectivity, et cetera. So that is a fantastic project that was sponsored by Representative Steele and Chair Hooper, who we are very sad to be losing in the legislature, but Pasco County will certainly not be losing him going forward. So excited for him to go back to his life and play a lot of golf, hopefully. The other project that was also funded is the decontamination truck for the firefighters here. They put forth a lot of effort, multiple trips to Tallahassee and a lot of meetings, and I know this was very important to all of you guys to make sure that our firefighters have are protected from carcinogens as quickly as possible once they've saved lives and saved property within the county. So very grateful to your legislative delegation, to all of your staff who worked very hard putting these appropriations requests together, and we're very pleased that the governor approved these ones. So I'll pass it back.
And thanks. Just to end, obviously we'll be working closely with your team and yourselves, and Ralph and Mike, on next year's request. And one of the things we have to think about is you have new leadership coming in. You're going to have a new governor. You're going to have a new Speaker of the House. You're going to have a new Senate President. Thankfully, we have amazing relationships with all the above, whoever that may be. But we know this next Senate President is going to be Senator Boyd, and Sam Garrison is going to be the Speaker of the House. So what we have to think about in the meantime, we'll have these conversations with them. Again, what are their priorities? What are they going to lean towards? Because we want to make sure that we're aligning with what some of their priorities are so things get through. So once we know who the governor is, we'll sit down with the governor and his or her staff. But we will have some pre-meetings here coming up with the Senate President and the next Speaker of the House. So,
Just going to go into some of the policy items. If you have questions, you can obviously interject anytime, or we can do them at the end, whatever you feel. We try to go with some of the bills that have some policy impacts, and obviously anytime you increase FRS or make adjustments. So I wanted to just go over the brief. It was a big bill. But one of the items that came out of there was overall regular class employee costs decreased, while costs for the other employees' classes increase. The drop fund access, this was a big thing for folks here, for the elected officials. Now at over age 59 and a half, without terminating elected office, will have access to their drop funds. They did not have that before. They will not have access to their retirement. They will have access to through their drop funds. The other one point here is really with the financial impact that you'll see is the 1.5% impact. But ultimately, the overall retirement is up to 2.8 when you're talking about the special risk employees and their COLA, as you know, that's assessed once a year. So that will have an impact for you all in the future. So going down to the next. Mike and I are going to share these a little bit. You want to start?
yeah, sure. All right, so first one, sovereign immunity. We hear that every year. It keeps coming back and back and back. It did pass this year, but it got vetoed by the governor. What that would have done is raise the limits from $200,000 to $300,000 per incident to $350,000 and $500,000. They were trying to get this up to even $750,000 to $1 million. Won't be surprised if it comes back again next year because the main sponsor will be back again next year. The governor did veto it. He stated that he was worried about frivolous lawsuits that could happen. He was also concerned about the impacts it could have on local government. So we are, I know Jeff probably and David as well as Mike are probably grateful that did not move through this year. When we keep going, or good? Okay.
As you can see, we all work on these issues, and the next three are kind of explainable. The DEI prohibition, the net zero policy prohibits any governmental agencies from taking action against supports of net zero. But the next one really here is kind of important too, is it mandates an annual 10% reduction exercise and requires posting of employee salaries for publicity. So a lot of this is going to go. You want to say anything on this, or we'll go to the next one?
Well, just to go on that local government, 1329, there's a couple other things. Yeah, that was huge. Obviously it's going to have an impact on the county. I think Mike's taking a look at that, and Jeff as well. But there's a few other things I just wanted to point out, because it's going to require counties and municipalities to post their tentative budgets online.
Didn't we already do that?
Well,
What's the tentatives?
5 days before public hearings happen. You may already do that. I'm not sure, but you're required to do that going forward. But also, one of the big things, like Sean was saying, this budget exercise, mandating that budget exercise and having it during a workshop and posting that you have this, is what the results are, and showing how you can reduce your budget by 10%.
Is this for state and local or just local?
This is county and municipalities.
Okay,
and it also affects it affects constitutionals as well.
Okay.
Not that one, the next thing will possibly. The next item will affect constitutional as well. This is something you don't currently do, but it requires counties and municipalities to publish their quarterly compensation summaries online as well. So your employees, what their salaries are going to have to be published online going forward. Now, you can still get access to that. It's public record, but it's going to have to go on the web, on the site. And that actually affects constitutionals, not just municipalities and county commissions. I think that's most of it. There's some things on the impact fees we can get into offline.
And the next one, I think you're going to start with development. Code enforcement. Yeah, code enforcement, sorry. I'm going to go through these a little bit. allows code enforcement officers to enforce derelict vessels anchoring is subject to FWC approval. That had not been there before, so that's giving us some of those rights necessary. Matter of fact, I saw some out there.
There's one in Gulf Harbor, it's on fire,
Yep.
sitting there for.
The Schimberg study. This was really, really important. The House wanted to get rid of the Schimberg study at all. Remember the Schimberg study, right?
Yeah.
It tells you what you can do with affordable housing. So it's now gone to 3 years. What does that mean? Well, it kind of weakens it, meaning now they can look over 3 years instead of a 12-month. They kind of saw the next 12 months, and it was going to be a huge difference to them, and it was more beneficial if they did the 3 years, not as beneficial for us as counties for the 3 years on the Schimberg study. So I want to make that kind of clear. 290, real direct, prelimps local governments from restrictions on gas-powered small engines. There were some cities and counties around the states that had done that. And the last one, this was an issue too, restricts the use of excess funds from the building department to build a building to house building department. In the past, we were able to do that. All of these bills that we just mentioned, have you seen on the bottom there, have all been approved by the governor. I'm gonna let you start off in the development one.
That's dumb.
There we go. This is what we do all session. We do go back and forth. We're good at this, guys.
Sarah
And
coming
Sarah, I
up.
think you're jumping on one of these coming at the end. 399, another just huge bill. I want to talk about 4 or 5 items that are on there real quick. You can see the application fees for development and permits orders must relate to direct and reasonable costs. There was even issues in there about hourly and how we would look at an employee with hourly charges. Local governments must allow a school district and charter schools reasonable access to public easements and right-of-ways and interlocal agreements. We have talked about that and seen that in the past. Number 3, off-site constructed dwellings prohibits, this is a big one, local governments from restricting the use of off-site constructed residential dwellings beyond requirements that apply to other types of residential dwellings in the same zoning district. Residential compatibility makes any change relating to residential compatibility. Local governments must include factors to assess compatible residential uses. And the last, you'll see again, this was approved by the governor. A local government cannot require additional property be purchased for approval of a compost facility. Yes, that was in there.
Hang on, number 4, I think.
I
Mr.
think
Strachey?
that was the one in Orlando or Orange County that issue was really big, but
All right.
I have a
Hang on
question on
second.
number 4.
go ahead.
Does that preempt local HOA documents, or, no?
It's only us. It's only
I
local
didn't
governments.
see that in there, right. And that statute would just pertain to local.
Oh, I'm sorry, number 3.
Right.
Number 3. Does that preempt HOA rules?
I didn't see that either. I can follow Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Steinsheimer, I didn't see that, no.
Normally, they stay away
HOAs can
from.
preempt a lot, right? Color of the house, what mulch they put in there, all that you are not restricted to.
Well, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Well, I'm saying HOAs have a lot more flexibility that they can have in their documents from.
Yeah, like we don't preempt,
Right.
yeah, we don't preempt them either.
No, you don't preempt. I'm just saying they could tell them, what color bark can be in their front yard, so.
All right, number 4, residential compatibility. Is there like a new definition for compatibility?
I will get that. I'm sorry, Andrew in my office took the lead, but I will find that out for you.
It's
Okay.
pretty awful.
So does that deal with zoning, or does it deal with land use?
Zoning.
Zoning.
Okay.
But you,
All right, so,
Yeah, it's more to the zoning classification. What local government used to be able to determine as compatibility, they have now said needs to be in your codes. So it's, we can give you a more detailed analysis of that. It makes it more difficult for you to deny a project on the basis of compatibility.
I think that's, maybe for the next meeting, we're going to have a little discussion point on that in the items.
On number 1, I actually, I saw some abuses in the state on this. I know of a city that might be in our county, where I had a friend who was building a house that was a very nice house in the $3 million range, and they based the building permit on the value of the house. So he was paying almost $100,000, for his building permit review, which is kind of crazy. He sued, but he didn't, he ended up having to drop it. It's just,
Okay, all right.
I know, crazy.
Good, but we can come back to that. Another big one, 803.
Yeah, so I'll take this one. So talking more about that off-site manufactured homes must be allowed in any zoning area where single-family detached homes are allowed. Again, yeah, that's be a little redundant here, but it's, how do I put it? Yeah, it's going to be a problem. For lots of the neighborhoods, not just within the county, but within the cities as well. A lot of cities are very, very concerned about that because a lot of the cities, municipalities, don't have as many HOAs, they don't have as many CDDs as the county does, but it's still within the county. So that's turning out to be a really, really big concern. Now, I'll let you listen to your attorney, but there may be ways that you can look at the structures themselves. And there's certain type, you might be able to put certain thresholds on the structures. Jeff,
we had talked about, the board had talked about in the past, things like the requirement for a garage. Your normal manufactured home is not going to come with a garage, so that might be a way that you could keep them out of a construction, what we used to just have as residential stick-built areas.
Yeah, so I think it's something obviously the county attorney's office has to discuss. So let's go to the uniform commercial permit application. The state's going to adopt a uniform commercial permit application to be used statewide for all commercial construction process. So they're going to be working on that now, and I think it's by July, of next year, this is going to be done. So all municipalities, all counties are going to have to use that going forward. Next slide. I can see it. Next slide. So it's inspection fees, single-family home threshold. That's a big one for everybody here. No permits required for single-family dwellings if the work is valued at less than $7,500.
That's great.
Now, obviously, when it comes to electrical, plumbing, structural, mechanical, or gas work, obviously those are left out. But going forward, that will have an impact, obviously, on your building department. You will not be able to charge for those items. Hurricane and flood protections. No permits are required for the installation of temporary residential hurricanes and flood protection walls or barriers going forward. And inspection fees. You're going to have to keep a close look at that. Prohibits inspection fees based on the total cost of the project. Fees must be based on actual costs incurred by the agency to perform and approve the inspection required for a permit. We can go to the next slide real quick.
With the former threshold for paying $2,500?
I have a question. Chairman, I have a question on that one.
What's that?
I think so. I have a question on the inspection fee.
Yeah, okay, go back if you would, go back. She wants to go back? Yeah, you can go back.
Commissioner Starkey.
I think we now have a fee for the fire marshal that goes into buildings, is that right? And just curious if that's gonna fly with this.
Thank you for the question. The fire fees are separate. They're not considered building permitting fees because it's under the fire administration. And we'll talk about that later in the
Name
session.
Name and title?
Oh, JP Murphy. I'm director of
What do
building
we charge? Don't they go in businesses annually?
Well, I don't know the answer to that question. That would be left for the chief.
I think that started recently. Okay, here comes the fire chief.
Chairman?
Commissioner Waitman.
Sean or Mike or whoever, on the glazing requirement, does that conflict with the federal rule for windows? Because of global warming and whatnot?
I don't know what the federal rule is. I mean, I know you guys like more, of course, for the look of the building and everything else. Are you asking me, are we going more or less?
Less. I think the federal requirement
I didn't know they had a.
for glazing.
I'd have to chat GPT it.
I'd be surprised though, if they would get their staff,
And
the attorney at the House and Senate Attorney's Office, that they would do something that contradicts what federal policy is.
I'd be surprised me that we'd be allowed to go less than federal.
Who would have thought we'd be talking about glazing in here? And
I didn't know we required glaze.
I mean,
The state just felt we were requiring more glass, but I think the understanding in this talking that was going in committee, because the aesthetics looked better with a lot of the glass that you guys were asking. It's something that
I was just curious is all.
One more thing to hit on this too is the private provider part of this. So it actually specifies permit fees for commercial construction projects must be reduced by at least 25% when you use a private provider going forward. That's for plan reviews or building inspection services. Again, they're reducing by at least 50% when a private provider is used for all plan reviews and building inspection services. So that's something else that will have an impact on your team. We talk about that this afternoon. Oh, there we go. There you go.
Okay, the fire marshal was going to answer my question just real fast. I mean, the fire chief.
Commissioner Ryan Glenn, Fire Chief. I think we charge a flat fee, and then depending on square footage, we have an increase on top of that for re-inspections.
Okay. If someone could email me what it is,
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, there are no federal requirements.
Did not. There wasn't for global warming and that whole deal? All right.
And so, related to those previous two bills, I think there have been a lot of concerns from local governments, you know, the manufactured homes provisions, et cetera. And I do feel that there is a desire of the legislative sponsors to address some concerns next year. So certainly, you know, once we've gone through all of the points of any of this legislation, certainly we ought to consider putting things on next year's legislative agenda if there's a fix for something that is truly concerning. But just moving quickly through the next slide, we've got a bunch of biosolids legislation that was proposed this year. Two bills that passed, two bills that were signed by the governor, one that was vetoed. So the first one, Senate Bill 290, limits the land application of biosolids to only Class AA biosolids. And so that is, you know, all of these things are here to help protect the environment. The House Bill 1245 was vetoed by the governor, and then House Bill 1285 originated from an issue going on in the Panhandle, in a county within the Panhandle, who spent significant time, monetary resources to upgrade their wastewater treatment facility, and still had some businesses in the area making applications to land apply their septage. And, you know, I think the county had a desire to protect the environment and stop that from happening. So this legislation will create a 30-mile perimeter around any Class B wastewater treatment facility if it has capacity and is close enough, then people should not be land applying their biosolids.
Question, Chair?
And so, yes.
Commissioner Wade.
Does that go across county lines?
I believe it's with
Or
a
is it flow
30-mile
control?
radius.
So 30 miles?
Yes.
And it can go over, like say Pasco into Hernando, there's not like a flow control component to this?
Let me look into that for you, but I believe that it's a statewide law and the 30-mile, but I'll confirm that for you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And then moving on, data centers. Gosh, you guys are dealing with it right now as we speak. And so there was legislation proposed this year. The initial legislation out of the House of Representatives would have, for all intents and purposes, banned large-scale data centers within our state. Through a lot of stakeholder input, and you probably would not be surprised, but a lot of other folks would be surprised how many stakeholders are really interested in data centers. There's an economic impact, there are sound concerns, there are just a multitude of things that people are considering and that I know is on your agenda later this afternoon. But the legislature, in their wisdom, decided to take a more measured approach rather than banning them altogether. And they kind of created a framework for data centers within the state of Florida that they believe, and the governor believes, will protect consumers and homeowners within the state. So it prohibits utility companies from shifting any of the costs for the electricity, et cetera, to residents in the area by creating tariffs and prohibiting the splitting up of the load and trying to pretend like it's a bunch of smaller customers when we all know that it's a big data center. They have also restricted water usage and encouraged the use of reuse water where available. And given the water management district, so the governor and DEP are very involved in water management districts as well, so I think that's a big backstop, but giving them permitting standards and some authority over these facilities. It also gave you guys control over zoning, planning, and permitting, which is a huge help. And
There's a lot of irony right there. I'm just going to say on the record, there's a lot of irony in SB 484. I'll leave it at that.
Indeed. And the legislation also prohibits utilities from contracting with foreign companies of concern to try and keep some bad actors out of the United States related to data centers, which are all over the place. So, and with that, I think I will pass it along.
We're all going to kind of jump into this. So we're going to end with this, folks. We're going to be doing some property tax discussion and talk about it real quick. So, as you know, this was the big issue that happened in the special session. It's going to need 60% approval. I don't have to tell you about the numbers, 150 up to 250. But I will give you this. It just came out, literally, as we were sitting here, the Revenue Estimating Conference, this is the Revenue, this is not the Florida League of Cities, not the Florida Association of Counties. In year one, Pasco County will feel a $145 million impact. In year 5, that jumps to 336. Year 2, 250. Your special districts in year 1 are 5.9 million. And just the Dade City alone, right here where we're at, will have 1.1 million. It doubles almost in year 5 to 2 million. We're happy to share that just came out right before we came out. I will say, there's been a lot of speculation whether this is going to pass or not pass. But let me give you this. 3 property tax exemptions have not passed since 2018. In 2018, the voters had an opportunity to increase the 25,000 up to 100. They voted that down. It was at 58%. It had no support. It had no opposition. They also voted 2 down in 2022, one that would have done law enforcement, teachers, and firefighters. They voted that down, and they also voted 1 down that would have helped families that are going through issues with recovery from a sinkhole to a hurricane. Remember, they did that one also, reducing it. So there is some history with us voting them down. So trust for local governments, of course, was kept out in the schools of that resolution. And the last thing right here, I'll let you go ahead and jump to that last one, Mike.
If you would go back to that just for a second.
Go, yes.
So I was reading one poll was done maybe a week or so ago.
Yes, sir.
And it was said there was about a 64% chance of passing.
Yeah, I heard
I
that.
then just saw another one from USA Today, and that one was a little bit skewed. They had like 3% more Democrats than Republicans. Independents were neutral. That one showed 54% were going to vote against it. So I mean, there's a huge gap to what's going on.
The polling that I have shown to you all know what a push poll is. Once they're notified of what the implications are of the parks, the libraries, those situations that impact us every day, the voting goes down. So when the push polls are done and they're said, would you still vote for it if you think that your library is going to be restricted, if your parks are going to be restricted, or if your fees and other areas are going to go up? That obviously hits it dramatically. There's a couple items with it. There's also a couple lawsuits that are saying the way that it's done right now, saying that new homeowners cannot get the exemption for 5 years. It's not legal constitutionally. They're also finding the constitutionality of the language on the actual there because they extended it and also the way that it's said.
But all they have to do is rewrite the language, right? It doesn't kill the
Because it's
amendment.
misleading.
Yeah.
Right.
So Sean, when we were up in Tallahassee, we talked about the growth that this county has. If we have to build a road, we don't build it for 5 years or 5% that's coming in. You got to build it for a 20-year road. When we built the overpass at 75, we built it way ahead of time to be a lot cheaper than for $50, $60 million compared to we're going to spend $184 million to 54 because we waited too long. So by being ahead of the curve, wastewater plants, you just talked about, advanced wastewater costs a lot more money. When we got to build it, we don't build it for the 5% growth. We got 2% growth we're coming. We're building it for 20 years down the road, so we got capacity. And sometimes those surges throw your budget up. Ridge Road. If Army Corps of Engineers was out of the way, we could have that thing done for 1/10 the price.
Right, right.
When we're up there, you also mentioned as far as the growth with the government. So the state government, the slide you showed, from 2021,
You saw that.
50%. That's the biggest slide out there. What was that growth been? Probably about the same. So if we're so bad,
Yeah.
what are they doing? And as they say, here's one
It
more
was
thing I looked at.
proposed by the speaker to reduce your sales tax by half a percent, which would have been the first time in the history for the state of Florida. The speaker offered reducing it by 0.5 cent. He didn't. After it was not accepted by the governor and the Senate, he also offered 1/4 penny, and that was not. So he saw that, and the reason that they said it, here it comes the pun, is they said they knew that there was tougher times coming ahead and the needs were outlasting the funding and they couldn't reduce it.
Okay, so tougher times
if
are
I- let
coming
me-
for
let me-
them, but
let me
not
just-
for us?
Let me
Well,
just-
you can read between the lines there, I'll say that.
All right, let me just make one more, Commissioner Yeager. So when I look at it, they protected the schools, that's 50% of your tax budget.
Right.
They protected fire safety, which is at least 50% of your budget.
Correct.
And now they're going to take the 25% that's left, and that's what's going to save everything to cut and eliminate property taxes. Absolutely absurd to me. Commissioner Yeager.
Okay, so my question is, and I guess we kind of talked about it a little bit, but what is the financial outlook of the state? And the second part of it is the governor's grant has now been taken away
Right.
by the House. So if property taxes do pass, so what does that look like?
I'll do the first one real quick. The Revenue Estimating Conference who just met does not give the best look for the state of Florida. The state of Florida does very well because we don't have an income tax. And why do we not have an income tax? Because we have tourism. So I'll say this, the sales tax is maintaining well with tourism. Even the tourism just came down for the first time in 10 years. We had a slight reduction in the state of Florida for the tourism. We're also seeing those numbers down a little bit right now. Why? Because part of the economy. Another big factor was the unemployment. The unemployment has ticked up 0.1% every month since February. So we're at 4.1, we're starting to go to 4.6. They see that continuing to go. They also look at every avenue looking at permits. Permits for the state of Florida, maybe not all here in Pasco, but have gone down drastically to about 1/3 of what they were 2 years ago statewide. That is developers starting to see the need drop. Homes have stopped, and one of the things that has maintained, and I talked about it a little bit earlier, in the state of Florida is our growth. Our growth is not what it was back in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, saw a net migration of only 25,000 people coming to the state of Florida. The areas that you are still seeing growth are very, very few. We're not there. It is Sumter and it is Duval. And what the Revenue Estimating Conference just said is with the population going down, because our state of Florida has done extremely well by people coming to Florida, that's where our extra growth is. If the growth comes down, which is what they're predicting, that is going to become a lot more problems with us and the counties with the less growth coming into the state of Florida. It doesn't look good, and they're looking at a $7 to $8 billion less money to meet all the needs 3 years from now for the state of Florida. $7 to $8 billion. That is a huge number.
And just a follow-up, you know, for local government, we go to you guys and say, hey, we really need this decon truck. Hey, we really need this, and that's with the taxpayers' money.
Right.
So I just wonder what that looks like if it does pass. How are all these, because there's going to be a lot of needy counties.
Well, one of the things you see, you have 27 counties in the state of Florida that are called fiscally constrained. That number will go up to 37. We have 67 counties in the state of Florida. 37 of the 67 will not be able to create more than $5 million per millage that they have in their county, meaning they can't build their schools, they can't build their county buildings, they can't build the Department of Health in 37 of the 67 counties if this passes.
I heard,
Right.
But I do want to say on the record, I am all for cutting taxes.
We are. I
We
get it.
definitely need to cut, but I just had some questions on if this does pass, so thank you. I'm
Ms.
done.
Starkey.
yeah, I heard some of those counties will have to merge. I also heard, when we were at FAC, people were saying that they had heard from legislators that unless your millage is at 10, don't ask for any help from the state.
I think some of the most immediate needs are going to be special districts. You guys will have other areas. Special districts do not.
Because we have what?
So the number that I just showed you for the special districts in the
Yeah.
county are unbelievable. So they're the ones that are going to have a lot of trouble too throughout the state. Fire, others.
And also what talked to Swiftmud when we were at FAC is they said all cooperative funding projects are on hold.
One thing I read with Florida Tax Watch too, and I said this a long time ago, if they put a higher sales tax in, that panhandle is going to get crushed. Everybody's going to go shop to the north like they do now, right? You see in Tallahassee. And that is going to, if they do take the sales tax to offset all this, it goes from 6% to 15%. That jump would actually devastate not only the panhandle, but now you go down south, and it's going to whack everybody down there. And those counties that are in bad shape now, it's going to get even worse. So this whole thing could be a gigantic disaster for the state. So we're going to I'm going to keep on getting the word out.
I think it's important, since Ralph's about to close, is again just to thank our legislators and thank our delegation for all their hard work, you know, when it came to preparations and things this year. You're going to have 2 new members of the delegation this year. As it was stated earlier, Senator Hooper or 3, I'm sorry, you're right, 3, I forgot about Steele. So you're going to have 3 because Holcomb's has decided to move on, and you have Representative Steele that's decided to move on, and then Hooper is retired. So you're going to have 3 new members of your delegation coming up, so we will know by November, some earlier than that, who your entire delegation is going to be.
Yeah.
But, again, every one of us is very grateful because so many of them work hard.
I want to thank you guys for all the great work you've done. I love that you guys work together. If you didn't work together as tightly as you did, we wouldn't have got what we got this year. So thank you for all working
We
together.
actually like each other.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Can I add
All right.
one thing onto that?
Go ahead.
Is that I want to also thank you guys because this, I say it every year, but this session was not easy. Last session wasn't easy. You know, they're trying to cut the budget every year, but our needs are going up. So I know you guys fight tooth and nail till the very end, and I know everything you guys put into it, so thank you very much. And sometimes your job looks fun and glorious, but I know it's super hard, and we appreciate you.
Okay, so I want to stop this. Ralph, you want to make some comments? I'll have you do them later. I've got Bill Cronin here. He's got one item. We're at past noon time, so I want to do Bill and David Engel real quick for R77.
Good morning, Board of County Commissioners. My name is David Engel. I'm the Planning and Economic Development Director for Pasco County. This project is part of our economic development programming, and they say in bowling, if you get 3 strikes in a row, you get a turkey. Well, this is the turkey around the Zephyr Hills Airport. This is number 3 in the portfolio that the Pasco Economic Development Council has presented to us. The property where this project is going in, which is called Confidential Project Wonka for one more minute, is a 62-acre site. It's located on 6th Avenue near the Valduco property. So this is number 3 in the Zephyr Hills Airport area. We had Valduco, we had MyTech, which is a roofing system company going in, and this will be number 3. The proposal is to do a 250,000 square foot food processing and distribution facility. It'll generate 100 direct full-time jobs. Induced and indirect jobs collectively will be 564 jobs. The capital investment is $111 million, and the incentive proposal is $3.206 million, and it's broken down into 3 concise buckets of incentives. One is the job creation incentive. They have applied for 37 full-time employee jobs with an average wage of approximately $63,000 a year, which is 115% of the county average. We have a $3 million ad valorem rebate, which will be paid out over 10 years. Now, over that 10-year period, the general fund will be inuring $5.14 million. So it is net positive to the county general fund cash flow. And after 10 years, the incentive is completed, and then we get the full taxable advantage. The gross county product contribution is $63.2 million a year. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Cronin, who's President and CEO of the Pasco Economic Development Council, and he will introduce you to the project. Thank you.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Commission. Good morning, or good afternoon, and happy Tuesday. And I would be remiss if I didn't say it's another great day here in Pasco County. So we're going to change the flavor a little bit of the conversation. I'm thrilled to introduce to you a company that's not only a global leader in its industry, but it's also multi-generational, family-owned business with deep roots, with commitment to quality and excellence. As a matter of fact, the company's first slogan was La Passion de la Qualité, which is French for passion for quality. And it still serves as their guiding principle still today. So without further ado, I'm happy to share that Monin Incorporated and Monin Americas, doing business as Monin Americas, a French-founded flavoring manufacturer with over 110 years of heritage, has selected one of our Pasco EDC ready sites, specifically the Zephyr Hills Industrial Park, for its next major manufacturing expansion here. They currently have presence in over 150 countries. Monin is the countries. They're the premier flavor choice for coffee houses, food services, and operators worldwide. You probably have...
We use them in our Starkey Market.
I was going to say, you probably have some syrup in your coffee right now, depending on where you went. This project's $111 million, as mentioned by David earlier today. 250,000 square foot facility that's going to be located on that first Ready site that we had back when we first started the Ready Sites program back around 2016. So highly successful program, but I want to highlight that these jobs are going to be above the average wage. Several of them will be, and then also the partnership again. This was another one of those projects that had the state, the county, county staff, Pasco EDC, City of Zephyr Hills, and Duke Energy all working together on this, and that is such a great message to other people that want to come here. I said it with Bauduco, and I'll say it again with Monin. It's going to smell great in that area of the county. But here today to join us, we have a couple representatives from Monin Incorporated, and that is Mr. Greg Grabo, who is our CFO for Monin Americas, and Stacia Johnston, who is representing the CEO tonight. And I'd like to ask them to say a few words.
Okay.
Thank you for... I'm Greg Grabo, CFO of Monin. Thank you for having us here today. We just wanted to reiterate what was already said. We love the site. We look forward to hiring all the people out here, investing in the community. We're excited about where we are. This project is going to help carry us forward for the next 10 to 20 years. All the numbers we just spoke of was just phase one. We won't build out the full site in phase one. So as we continue to grow, we'll continue to grow with Pasco County.
The only thing I would add is that we are, our business is growing at such an exponential rate that we need this land and this manufacturing plant in order to continue to grow our business and offer our product into coffee shops, restaurants, bars, cafes, hotels around all of the Americas, US, Canada, and Latin America. And so this will be a really much needed manufacturing plant for our company as we continue to grow. So thank you for considering.
And will your name for the records?
Oh, sorry. Stacia Johnston. I'm the SVP of Strategic Planning for Monin Americas.
Very good. Commissioner Starkey.
So I have toured your facility in Pinellas County. As you know, we have our AmSkills manufacturing training program. You may not know that if you're not from Pinellas, but we've been working with you guys for over 10 years. So we are working on expanding our manufacturing training program to the east side. As a matter of fact, we have a boot camp coming up in August out in Zephyr Hills. So we're really glad you're here, and we look forward to helping you train your workforce.
Oh, we're excited to be here.
Yeah.
So next August we'll be at that.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think you ought to take a look at the kumquat here in Pasco County and maybe have have a unique,
idea.
our
That's
counties,
a great
our counties
idea.
plant
Make
some,
that flavor.
make it a flavor and incorporate it into something, just saying.
I
So,
agree.
Love it. Dade City is the kumquat capital of the world.
Well, I make,
Did I say that
I
right?
make the decision for the flavor of the year, so I'll put it in the notes.
We're gonna have to send them a pie.
All right, Commissioner Oakley.
I would like to welcome you to Pasco County. I was born and lived here in Dade City my entire life, and really enjoy all my citizens and want the best for them. This is good for our citizens in Pasco County. You are a part of my district, and my office is open to you. If you need me, just give me a call. Okay, thank you.
Is that leading to a motion?
yeah, is that your motion?
Oh, yes, I'll make a motion.
Second. I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, unanimously. Welcome to Pasco County. Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, we'll get on for a picture, and then we're going to break for lunch. By the way, after with the off.
You want down?
Yes, yes.